with Spooky.
And Spooky's over here.
And I'm wearing a shirt that says Spooky, but his fingers...
Stream has disconnected. Did it disconnect already?
Are we here?
Are we here?
Are we alive?
Did the stream immediately disconnect?
Oh, it would appear that we're here. Spoopy. Oh, no. Looks like we're here. Okay,
Okay,
we're good.
well, Streamlabs is just dumb then.
Everything always goes wrong. Guys, happy Friday. We've got a heavy topic today, so with that, it's going to come with lots of disclaimers. We're not medical experts. And
we are not.
Obviously, if you're dealing with, really, really extreme depression, you should probably talk to your doctor about it. What we're going to be more going into today is things like seasonal depression, that overload and overwhelm that you get from the holidays. I know that the holidays are often a time when we're forced to be around family members that we don't spend a lot of time with. And sometimes it's, you want to see them and you love them, but then things like politics or how's your little business doing? Their wording gets used that...
We've been there.
Yeah, it drains your energy and it takes away from your positivity, and it's just not good for you. So we're going to be talking about things like that. But today we also have a charity going at the top of the stream. Right now there's only $5 raised. Who, I think it was Elizabeth.
It was.
Who donated. Thank you, Elizabeth. We are doing a charity for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because we thought that since we are talking about mental health in this episode, we would support a charity that aligns. So make sure that you donate. If everybody who was here right now donated $5, like that is the cost of a Starbucks coffee.
That's right.
And usually we get around 100 to 200 people live, usually several thousand views on the replay. I will keep this charity perpetually open. That way, even if you're watching the replay, you should be able to donate. So consider doing that. It helps a lot. Before we get started, as we're waiting for everybody to get online, there are 2 announcements to be made. Mr. Maury, would you like to make the first announcement since you...
I don't know what I'm announcing.
The thing you created this week for the alpha?
Oh, I was like, I don't know what in the heck you're talking about. The Discord is now live. You can join the Discord down below. If you don't know what Discord is, think like a more modern version of like 90s chat rooms, but more controllable, and we're able to see what y'all are doing.
Yes.
So feel free. Link is down below to join. It'll give you a link. Probably best that you do it on desktop if you're just now signing up, just to keep things easy, but I believe you can do it from your phone.
Yes. And we do, for everybody who's been asking for the Alphas After Dark, that is where we're going to be hosting those from now on. That's for our 18 plus sellers, whether you sell things related to, bad words, smoking, or anything sexually explicit.
And I have sections on there for non-Alphas After Dark. Please read the rules to the Discord when you get in. I mean, you don't really have a choice. You have to emoji react, one of the statuses to be given access anyway. But read the rules. Absolutely no not safe for work content outside of the not safe for work channels. That's an instant ban, no second chances kind of things. We want to keep it safe because there probably will be underage people or underage people in specific countries in the Discord, so we want to be careful with that. But we have an Etsy specific one and a non-Etsy not safe for work. So if you sell normal stuff on Etsy, but maybe you do something not safe for work in your free time and you sell off platform, then you have support there as well. We're trying to branch out and make sure we cover every aspect.
Yeah. And obviously if you just sell, candles or something, a majority of the Discord is going to be, just normal selling. We've got a positivity corner. We've got where you can share pictures of your pets.
And more incoming. We have a suggestion corner.
Yeah.
And if you are in the not safe for work industry, we have safe sections for you to post non-picture stuff, picture stuff, video stuff. It's all designated so nobody gets confused or upsets anybody else.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the last thing before we get started is that on October 20th, so this upcoming Thursday, I am presenting a webinar at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so 2 hours after the Friday Bean normally begins. that is going to be over on Printify's YouTube channel. I'm so excited. They invited me to do my Science of Etsy Success webinar. A lot of you have probably already seen it, but I would still really, really love to have some alphas in the chat because I'm going to be so nervous. I'm presenting to their audience and they don't know me, so I'm sure that there will be a couple butt heads, you know.
Oh yeah,
I'm
for sure.
Anytime you present in front of a new audience, there's always going to be some people who are like, how do you know? So I would love to have some of you hang out with me just to make me feel not so terrified. And if you haven't seen the Science of Etsy Success webinar, it's going to be a really fun opportunity to hang out. Printify is giving away prizes. I think I remember what their prizes are. I can't remember offhand. I think I know what they are. I'm offering some prizes, though, some E-Rank goodies. So please consider joining that. There is a link down below if you want to check that out. There's no registration page, but you can set the notify me button on the YouTube player page on their YouTube channel. It will not be here. If you come here, you will not find it. I'll also be sending out an email tomorrow letting everybody know, and I will probably send a couple more emails next week just to make sure everybody has the opportunity to see it. There will be a replay available, but obviously if you don't show up live, you don't get to enter for prizes.
No, it will not be today.
No, it will not be today. All right, so I think that we're good. Oh, thank you to everybody who's donated. We're up to $21. And last week's charity, I believe we got up to, if somebody wants to check for sure, feel free.
Nika said it is today. Our live stream with Printify is not today.
I think they mean, is this today?
It is not today.
It is not today.
It is not today.
We're today.
We're today.
The
We're
live
every
stream
day.
with Printify is not till the 20th.
We're a little out of it. We're leaving literally right after this stream is over to go on our anniversary vacation. So
yeah, we've been married 12 years. October 20th. Yes. October 20th.
October 20th. Yes. We are good to go ahead and close that. Go ahead and get started here.
Yeah. So we're going to be going over a lot of things that if you've been following me for a while, it's some things you'll have heard before. Mm-hmm. But I want to dive more into some of these topics today because it is that time of year when you start to really feel the pressure. And honestly, it's the time of year when you shouldn't. We're hitting that time of year where it's all about family and being happy and, you know, everybody loves those cozy fall mornings or those, you know, cozy, even if you live in an area, I know some of you are like, it's summer where I live, but everybody has those positive, you know, fuzzy feelings around Christmas time. And I think that we all want to feel good.
Yes.
This time of year, but sometimes the world gets in the way of feeling good. And it's like, ugh, I just wanted to have a good day. And everything starts to kind of eat at you and eat at you and eat at you.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
So a couple things just starting out, and these are good general tips. Making sure that especially as we hit the busy season, you set your work hours. Now, I know that for the most part, we're all going to have to work a little bit more during the holidays. That's the unfortunate part about running a business, is that hopefully you're getting orders. Hopefully you're making sales.
Which means your time management skills need to be on point.
Yes. So setting your work hours, making sure that you are stopping at a decent time. But sometimes that also means waking up a little bit earlier. Or if you prefer to work late at night, that's fine too.
Where are my night owls at?
Yeah. Sometimes it's, you know, better to work later at night, but make sure that you're not working up until the minute that you go to bed. It's not good to stay in that active working mindset up until the moment that you go and lay down because your brain is still running. Have you ever gone on a run and you just dead stop and like try to catch your breath and you feel like your chest hurts? It's usually better not to just stop in the middle of a run. It's usually better
moving.
Yeah, it's usually better to kind of slow down to a walk and then work your way to a stop. So give yourself some time, even if it's just enough time to like take a bath or a shower.
Night out here for sure. Can't do anything in the morning. Yeah, same. If you ask me to do something in the morning, I'll tell you to do it yourself. I'm a sleepy boy.
Yeah. Next thing, and this is a big one for me because I noticed that I would work all week. but I would feel like I didn't get anything done because I'm like, well, I didn't finish anything. I worked, but I didn't finish anything. But then I got my Legend Planner. I talk about it a lot with you guys. It's if you go on Amazon and you just search for the Legend Planner, you'll find them. You can get all different colors. And that planner has areas where you put in goals based on your year, based on your month, based on your week, based on daily. And at the end of each week, I have to write down 3 different things that I accomplished and like goals achieved, and then 3 things that I want to improve on next time. And when I actually sit and I look at my planner, I realize I actually did a lot. I might not have finished anything, but I did a lot. And it allows you to really stop and say, you know what? I am being way too hard on myself. It's almost like I compare it to like when you diet. Like, for example, when I was like really, really hardcore, like trying to lose my baby weight, I would feel like I'm not looking any better. And I would look at the scale and the numbers wouldn't move at all. And I was thinking to myself, I am not doing any better. I am working so hard. I'm working out. I'm walking. I'm being active. I'm eating right. And I'm not losing weight. Except my composition was changing. And I wouldn't notice that unless I was taking daily photographs, which I got in the habit of doing. I would take a picture every day because I would look at one picture and another picture. And even though my weight was the same, because I was building muscle, there was a big difference. And I would have never known that if I was just going based on the scale. And I think that it's very much the same with our accomplishments. We can think that we didn't achieve anything until we look at the tiny details of the things that we did achieve. It's also a good way to look at the things that you achieved that, was that really important? You know, if I only achieved 3 things this week, is there anything in my schedule that's taking away from what I want to do? Is there anything in my schedule that isn't necessary that I'm placing there? For example, if I'm watching an entire season of something on Netflix, can I cut that down a little bit? Can I trim it just a little to make sure that I'm freeing up some more time? So, we're
good. Everything's good. We're good to keep going.
Cool. And with that comes, you know, another thing from my planner is I only give myself 3 tasks a day. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to anxiety and living with anxiety,
realistic goal setting.
Yeah, I would give myself so much. And I think it's because I loved planning. And I felt productive by putting lots of things on my calendar.
You are a planner addict.
Yes, I love planning things out. I would put all of my things on my calendar, but I would put so many things per day that it just wasn't realistic. And then I felt like a failure when I didn't achieve those things. So I've gotten in the habit of only putting 3 big tasks per day. And they can be big because they feel big to you. For example, the Friday bean isn't really a big task. I'm just sitting here talking. I don't have any fear to be in front of a camera. I've been doing it for 5 years, twice a week.
Yeah, we don't.
It's nothing to me anymore.
Is what it is.
But it does drain my mental energy. Live streaming, it does take away from your social like quota for the day. You know how for those of you with anxiety, if you're around like a big crowd of people or family, you get a little bit more tired.
Everybody leaves and you don't even want your own family to talk to you anymore.
You're just like
I'm done with talk for the day.
I'm burned.
This does a very similar thing.
Yeah.
In a positive way, fortunately.
And there are some days when we're totally fine. There are some days when it really wears on us. So making sure that if there's a task on your list that you know is going to take a lot of your energy, maybe it's, you know, you're having your mother-in-law over and you're cooking her dinner and you know that she just picks away at your soul. You can make sure that you are giving lots of room for that occasion because you know even though there's only 3 tasks on your calendar, that one task is going to consume a larger part of you. So don't feel bad about making sure that you are giving yourself less than what you can do, because you can always add things in after you finish those 3 things. Nothing feels better than marking all 3 of those tasks off your calendar.
I'm just checking
making sure that it's working.
Checking our viewer count.
Now I know a lot of you are saying, but I have kids. they wear on me. They drive me crazy. I'm trying to work. There's nothing worse than being anxious or depressed or having like that stress panic attack feeling And then having the children also screaming and hitting each other and making messes, and every 2 seconds they spill their sippy cup.
Gotta
and
put that hand down, dog.
just stop it. But what I found, especially when Taylor was a lot younger, was if you give them a job, if you assign them something to do, it can free up a little bit more of your time and your sanity.
Yes.
There are 2 fun ways to do this. First of all, you can give them a job that is super duper simple around the holidays. How many of you guys get like the Amazon toy catalog? If not, I believe you can sign up for them. Give them that and give them a marker and say, here's your Christmas list. Go through this, circle what you want, and we're going to mail this catalog to Santa Claus, and we'll put it in the mailbox. And that occupies plenty of time so that you can, go do your own thing. I did that every single year. I gave Taylor the big toy catalog so that she could fill it out and I could walk away. You can also buy special toys that only come out when you need to work and circulate those. I had a holiday basket for Taylor.
I had a holiday basket.
A holiday basket. Every holiday we had our October basket, which was all Halloween books and activities and puzzles. We had a Christmas basket, and it was all cheap stuff. It was like dollar store stuff, or stuff that I got at the thrift store, stuff that was given to me. But then you can rotate those out and give yourself a little bit more time and explain it to your child as a job. My job is to work in my office and pack my orders and do this. I'm going to come out and check on you in, 20 minutes. During that 20 minutes, I want your job is to do this puzzle. And then after you do the puzzle, when I come out, we can, have a snack or something. It's all about positioning and making sure that you find your kid's currency. Every kid has a currency. There's something that they care about that they want. So
yeah.
Every
that usually transfers into adulthood too.
Yeah. They've always got something that will spike their interest. The baskets are such an easy thing to toss together. Stick them in a closet when you're not using them. You could even just use the same basket and then put the activities in those big gallon freezer bags and Ziploc them, and then dump all that stuff into the basket and circulate those out. And they get so excited. Oh my God, the Monday basket. Hooray.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little tip when it comes to kids.
Yeah, people talking about kids and that being... you have to be able to have your own identity outside of taking care of your kid. And as a result of that, your kid develops an identity that isn't just having a parent. I see so many kids with detachment issues with their parent. The moment their parent stops paying attention to them, they lose their minds. And that's not that's usually a sign of there's nothing wrong with being connected to your kid, clearly, but that's a sign of overparenting. You're letting your kid crowd all over you all of the time and not allowing them to have their own personal space to find their own identity and take care of themselves. They have to be able to take care of themselves. And if you give them something to do, they're able to build that, and they become less reliant on you being up their butts 24/7.
It also builds good habits because someday
Yes.
it's going to be chores, someday it's going to be actual tasks, and if they know that it's time for them to do their jobs for the day, you get a lot less resistance. So just something to try out. Obviously, it's not going to work for every kid. But if it's something, especially when you have little ones, it is something that you can experiment with.
We had a good one.
Oh.
Page illustration. I just left my full-time job to run my business full-time. I had a really toxic boss who set me an unrealistic amount of tasks each day and wouldn't allow me to use notebooks or planners.
What?
That
sounds...
I mean, unless you're working in something that, you're working with confidential information they don't want you writing down in a planner, I don't really think that they can do that. I'm still trying to break those toxic habits that she ingrained into my way of working. Each day I have her voice in the back of my mind saying I haven't done enough and I'm not working hard enough. Yeah, that sounds like a shitty person, and I would definitely report them to the Better Business Bureau. I know it doesn't mean anything, but it does make a difference. And if you were an employee there's other places that you can report bad workplaces to make sure other people don't go through that crap.
Can't you report on like Monster?
There's Monster, and then there's another one that's, I forget the name of it, but there's one specifically for reviewing companies that you've worked for, and you just give them a bad grade. People shouldn't work like that. It was the same way when I was in the military. I had an unrealistic standard set for what I was supposed to accomplish every day, and it's the military mindset, but the corporate world tends to get that way too. This very like you're a slave to the company mindset, regardless of what you're being paid. But that's neither here nor there. Glassdoor. There you go. Yeah. Always check for Glassdoor.
All right. The next one is and once again, this boils down to having the planner, and it doesn't have to be a paper planner, whatever your favorite method of organization is. Some people like having, their phone. Some people like having a whiteboard. Some people like writing it on paper. Some people like a list. I like a planner. There's apps, whatever works for you.
She said writing in notebooks and planners takes too much time and it's a waste of time. Sounds like a toxic waste of oxygen.
Yeah, I was going to say that's that is what works for her. What works for her does not mean that it's going to work for you. Everybody learns, retains.
I would have reported them to HR.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, I would have reported them to whatever your HR department is.
Yeah. But anyway, so building that schedule and having a routine, and I know that sounds so simple, and a lot of times it sounds simple, but it is hard to build a routine. I really like Kerwin Ray has this great analogy. He's one of my favorite business coaches, but he says that imagine you have a dog. You get a dog and you never train the dog. You let the dog run all over the place. You let it, pee where it wants to. You let it chew things up. You let it run wild all around your house. You don't discipline it at all. You just let it do whatever it wants. Overall, you will have a less happy dog. That dog will not be as happy as a dog that goes on a routine walk, that has a routine feeding time, that has, has structured play, that knows what its schedule is. And we're the same way. We need to have a routine schedule because it allows our brain to anticipate what is going to come next, especially when you have anxiety, because it's uncertainty that causes a lot of those issues with perpetual anxiety. So setting a schedule is important, and I highly recommend for all of you who feel like you have too much in a day, or you are, struggling with building a routine or schedule. I always talk about The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. The front of the book is yellow and it's got eggs on it, and one of the eggs is golden. So definitely check that out. But the whole point of that book is that we are faced with so many choices every single day.
Thousands.
So many choices. Stupid choices. Choices that don't matter. You go to the ketchup aisle and there's 20 types of ketchup.
It doesn't matter. Just grab one. Grab your favorite.
Every choice that you make takes a little bit of your energy for the day. We only have so much. That's why right after breakfast you feel the most energized. You only have so much energy. It is a finite resource that runs out, and then it, fills back up through the night. And in the book, he describes how countries that have less freedom, countries that are run by like dictators and, just people who are more constrained and have no choices, they tend to be happier because they have less choice. And I'm not saying that's the case for everywhere, but I highly recommend checking out the book because it is so interesting. He says it way better than I do. And he also talks about how, even in the good old days, people were happier. And you always hear people say, oh, I wish things were how they used to be. I wish, things would go back to how they were. Well, a lot of the reasons that we have those positive associations with how things used to be is because there were less choices then. So it felt like we were happier. But in reality, we just had less to worry about.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, what cell phone provider do I need? There's so many little choices that we have to make. And so many big choices too, choices that are taxing on us. Even trying to find, like, Mark and I were trying to find a doctor the other day.
Good God.
And we couldn't even find a doctor because there's so many doctors and they're all little tasks.
Extremely misleading.
Right. Tasks that, 20 years ago required a phone call and then you were set, now require 3 hours of bumbling around dealing with automated systems and not getting anywhere. So you can't control that. But having a routine, not giving yourself choices, knowing exactly what you need to do every day, and also making choices more quickly when you do encounter the ketchup aisle. Either way, you're not going to be that unhappy with your choice.
Nope.
Just grab a ketchup. Don't put the dinner question. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. Where do you
literally just do something.
Just do something. It's not going to matter tomorrow. You're not going to care about what you ate today. So just make a choice. And you will find yourself, when you get into the habit of just picking something as quickly as possible, you will find yourself way less stressed and you'll have more energy because you didn't spend a bunch of time using up your store of energy for the day, making a bunch of decisions that didn't actually matter.
Yes.
So.
No questions, but people are agreeing about doctors. Yeah, we finally found one for Taylor, new primary care provider. Still haven't found one for us because the one that I assigned in our insurance app ended up being a dermatologist and not an actual primary care provider like she was listed as. Anywho, next one is not listening to negative or non-constructive influences. There's a lot of this going on. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're in the know, if you don't, then that's fine. You'll probably eventually hear about it. But non-constructive complaints, people saying, oh, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue, without providing at least their perception of what a solution would be, is a waste of your time. Yeah. You're just listening to someone complain for the sake of being upset. It's not a constructive use of your time. Whether that's the news, a YouTuber, an influencer, podcasts, doesn't matter.
Family.
Complaining for the sake of complaining is just itching the itch of wanting to be angry, and you're wasting your time. Not only are you wasting your time, you're not figuring out a way to come up with a solution for the problem for yourself. Because even if somebody provides their perspective on the problem and how they think it's going to get fixed, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably not, unless it's a small problem that everybody has, right? So businesses are struggling right now, and we all know that. A lot of businesses struggle. The majority of businesses don't succeed. However, those of us who actually put our minds to it, there's a lot of you here that are probably living off of your Etsy businesses now. So the world isn't a terrible place. You are able to succeed on your own merit. If you want to jump in here, we hear so much negativity all the time, and we're sick of it. We're sick of hearing the negativity. We're sick of hearing people complaining and not providing a solution. We see people struggle. Obviously, people struggle. There's probably some of you here that are struggling. That doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something wrong. It also doesn't mean that you're not. There are things you could be doing. And unfortunately, sometimes there's nothing you can do. And you have to move on and move to something that does work for you. And we've had to do that. But we've completely quit doing her jewelry business because it just wasn't, we could not maintain. For our mental health specifically, our anxiety, our depression, all of our relationship issues, like, it affects every aspect of your life. If you're doing something and it is not maintainable and you cannot find a solution, sometimes the best solution is to move on. Just like with a relationship. If a relationship just isn't working, no matter what you're doing, the obvious solution and the worst solution to you, what sounds like the worst solution, is to move on. Mm-hmm. And that applies to business as well.
Yeah. It's funny how, it's funny how in our society today, it's more socially acceptable to get, we'll say like on, Facebook, everybody's got that family member who just complains all the time on Facebook every day. Statuses, woe is me. And that's more socially acceptable than, talking about accomplishments. Because if you talk about accomplishments, you're too braggy.
You're bragging, yeah.
So get in the habit of snipping out the things that you know are sucking away your energy, whatever they are. When it comes to family, it can be harder, but you can set barriers and boundaries. For example, I've got some family members who I have said, unless you are messaging me with something positive or, a question.
Asking to hang out.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yep. We've completely cut our entire family off because it's just not worth your time. And you'll have a lot of people that say that, especially right now, working for yourself isn't worth it. But I have a couple arguments to that because the economy is a big one, right? That a lot of people are struggling with. Yes, the economy is in a rough place. It was in a worse place a while back. It is recovering. You can look at all kinds of charts to see that things are working their way back in. Companies are still scalping, but that's neither here nor there. For one, Etsy is still doing extraordinarily well. They just expanded their company by it was huge, a huge expansion, hired a ton of people.
400 people.
That shows me that Etsy's making money, which means that the sellers are making money. Because Etsy makes the money off of the sellers. Hold on, I'm gonna go down a path here because there are other people in our industry that are just absolutely enraging me right now, and I think it needs to be set clear. The world is improving, and you only fail based on your own merits. No outside factor, unless you've done something illegal, is going to make you fail. You can make bad decisions and have to move on to something else, like we've discussed. And numbers aside, during the recession in December, in June, our June launch was the best launch that we have ever had by almost 50%. It was the biggest launch that we've ever had for HAA. And that's not me trying to brag. That's trying to tell you that 50% more people than normal bought HAA, meaning that 50% more of those people had the money. HAA costs $1,000. We don't sugarcoat it. It's an expensive course because it's worth the amount of money that we sell it for. But that many people were willing to commit that amount of money and time in order to make their Etsy shops succeed. And we have seen tons of Etsy shops succeed. We have seen tons of small business sellers succeed. We've seen people make 6 figures this year. We've seen people go from making nothing to working for themselves this year. So don't let anyone tell you that right now isn't a good time to start a business, to expand, to move on. Because the worst thing that can happen is that your business goes down and you move on to another one. Always keep pushing forward. Sitting still, doing nothing, complaining, and bitching does nothing for anyone, especially for you. No one else can help you. You are responsible for your own actions. And if you do something dumb or your business gets hurt, it's probably either a result that was outside of your control or something that you've done. Learn the lesson from what you've done, move on, and don't do it again. Plain and simple. End of my angry rant.
Absolutely.
I want you to succeed, and I watch you people succeed, and I'm sick of people saying that you can't. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't succeed, no matter what the economy is doing. People thrived during the Great Depression. There were companies that literally built their basis during the Great Depression. Wasn't easy. Not everyone could do it, but it's possible. No matter how bad the economy gets, you can succeed if you know how to make the moves. Make the moves. Keep pushing.
And going, if you're used to living off of your business...
Sorry.
If you're used to living off of your business and you have to go get a day job, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you've got to, get a little side hustle or be, a virtual assistant for a little while.
Do it.
Or, sell some things on, Poshmark to clear some clutter in your house or, help a neighbor straighten their house for a little extra money. There is no flipping shame in that. Creating multiple revenue streams is a great idea. What I don't like seeing oh my goodness, what I don't like seeing is people fall into a pit of despair and then not make any moves to attempt to get themselves out. I talk about learned helplessness a lot, and this is one of the things that I presented both at the University of Dayton, which I never went to college, and I've spoken at them because apparently they think that I know what I'm talking about. One of my favorite studies is the study of learned helplessness, and it's very, very messed up. It's an old, archaic study, but in this study, they took a dog, a beagle, I think, because that's usually what they experiment on. They took a dog and they put it into a crate, and the bottom of the crate had like electric currents that would shock the dog. And they put this dog into the box with the electric currents that would shock it over and over again in even intervals. Then they repeated that study, except they created another area of the crate where the dog only had to jump over a tiny little wall and it could get to the side where it wouldn't be shocked. First, they did the experiment on a dog that had never been shocked before. And the second that first shock came through, that dog immediately jumped over the wall into the safe side of the crate, right? It was like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here. The dog that had gotten so used to being shocked over and over again, even though it had a way to escape, it didn't. It chose to lay down in its crate where it continued to get shocked, even though it was easy enough for it to move into the other side of the crate. Now, first of all, this study was done in like the 30s, I believe. So super mean. I do not condone the study.
No.
But what we can learn from this and what this study was trying to prove is that helplessness is a mindset that we can put ourselves into, and we can build up the feelings of content with a circumstance that is not ideal because we believe that we are not able to achieve anything outside of what we have set as our own standard.
Mindset is everything.
The dog's standard was understood that my life is being shocked every few minutes. I am not going to leave. I have become used to being hurt every few minutes, so this is where I'm going to stay. I'm just going to lay here. I see this so much. And it's all a mindset. Everybody has the ability to better their circumstances. And I'm not speaking as somebody who has always had a great life. Mark and I had a very terrible life.
I've had more bad in my life than I've had good.
when I was 18, I got the hell out of my house because my mom was with a guy who was beating on her.
They were severe alcoholics.
There was no food, so I got out of my house. He and I moved into a house there was
no heat, no air.
No heat, no air. We had no cable. We had nothing. We had no internet. It was just me and him sitting in a cold or hot house full of black mold. You could only have one light on at a time, or all the lights would...
Yeah, we went through 4 TVs in 6 months.
Yeah.
And they all kept blowing.
Yeah, we were in not ideal situations. And then you guys all know my story of me, when he joined the military, I got pregnant. We only had an air mattress, which was big upgrade for us. And then, that popped and we slept on the floor and ate ramen noodles.
Anyway.
But we continuously improved the situation because we had an awareness that what we currently had, for one, was not the worst thing in the world.
Wasn't permanent.
It wasn't permanent. Sleeping on the floor was not a part of my core identity. It was something that was improvable as long as if we saved money and we worked to better ourselves.
But we have known people who did take something like that and turn it into their core identity. And those people are still the same way now. They started out got out of college, poor as hell, student loans like crazy, and they have done nothing other than work a minimum wage job for the past 10 years, haven't even tried to move on to new positions. And I'm sure you guys know stuff like that too. Obviously, the job market can be unfair, but there's always a way to try. And if you're not trying, then the only person you can blame is yourself. And that goes for everything. You might fail. You genuinely might fail in your endeavors. But what you are going to be known for is your effort in trying, not the fact that you've succeeded or failed. And your self-identification needs to be based on that as well.
Exactly. Life is a series of failures.
It is. Man, we get spicy.
Whimsical Muse said that the study was from 1967. I thought that it was way earlier. That's crazy.
not
that
surprised,
they were hurting dogs in almost the
Seligman-Admire.
70s. Yeah.
We kind of addressed multiple of these through that.
Next thing is this. We talked about not complaining without proposing solutions. Everybody vents. It's fine to vent every once in a while.
We're not saying not to vent.
Even the new Discord, we've got a venting area, but we hope that with that venting area, people can also offer you some tips or, make you feel good. But controlling your controllables, that's something I always say. I say it to myself. If you knew that, tomorrow the sun was going to blow up, how much stress would you put into that? Well, you can't control it. You can't make the sun not blow up. There's nothing that you can do to stop that from happening. It is beyond your control. So it wouldn't be worth your time to stress over that nonstop, right? It would be more constructive or better for you to, have a fantastic final day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So think about other things in your life that you cannot control. What are your items that you cannot control? What are your items that you can control? Most things in your life are controllable. You can control them. If it's something like a tree falls on your house and you have to pay money to fix that, you can't control that. That's not a controllable. If you are dealing with a toxic family member, though, and they're taking away from your sanity, it's going to be hard. It's a hard thing to control. But you can limit that person. That isn't controllable. So defining what is controllable and what is not controllable in your life and finding those stress points and figuring out how you can control those is very, very important for your happiness and your sanity, for your stress management. Like I said, especially if you have anxiety, because you only have to establish these things, and make your decisions once. After you've made those decisions, you just have to keep up with them. So...
Yes. And yes, Discord is both an app and a website. You can, if you guys weren't here for the beginning of it, the Discord is available down below. There is normal Etsy, not safe for work Etsy, and non-Etsy, not safe for work sections built in. Read the rules when you join in, and you won't be confused as how to see everything. And you can do it on your phone.
My other phrase that I always say is that everything is figure-outable.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, no matter how stuck you get, no matter how, I do this a lot when I look at my schedule and I'm just like, there is no time for me to do everything that I need to do. And you guys ask me, Starla, how the hell do you do everything that you do? Everything is figure-outable. Everything. You can figure out everything. Is it hard? Yeah. Do you have to sometimes move things around in a way that is not ideal? Yeah. But everything is figure-outable. I always talk about our slogan for the Handmade Alpha Academy: plan, adapt, evolve. Plan for change. It's always going to happen. Everything's always going to change. Nothing is ever going to stay the same.
Yep.
Everybody who says, oh, I wish things would go back to the good old days, that's not going to happen. Society only moves forward. Nothing is going to go backwards. So you might as well just start planning for things to change. That way you can adapt. Adapting to those changes as they happen. Everybody needs a period of adaptation. If Facebook changes everything tomorrow, yeah, we've all got to figure out how it works now. We all have to adapt to it. We all have to figure it out. So giving yourself the grace to be able to adapt, that way you can evolve. Plan, adapt, evolve. Evolving is when you hit the point of change where you know that when change happens, you change with it. You have changed everything about yourself to accommodate and adapt to what life has thrown at you. That's why, once again, make flexibility your favorite F word. Be flexible, because life is always going to change no matter what you do. You cannot stop it. So you might as well roll with the punches. Otherwise, you're just going to be upset all the time.
Have you studied Stoicism? You're being very in line with that philosophy. As a teenager, yeah. Very, very, very much so in line with that.
I wouldn't...
But no, I would not say that we are...
I definitely wouldn't consider myself stoic, though I tend to... If you did a word count in my book and read how many times I called JC said with a stoic look or a stoic twinge to his... Like, but I wouldn't consider myself stoic, though I think that there is realism in stoicism, and I call myself a realist.
Yeah, I think realist is what we both would identify as.
It is the ability to not have a bias either which way and to look at everything from an outside perspective and say what is better based on the evidence that I have in front of me. What is better for me? What is better for my family? What is better for my future? What is going to equate to long-term happiness?
Everything has a gray line.
Exactly.
Everything has a gray line. It doesn't matter if it upsets you or not. Everything has a gray line, and there's but two sides to a story. Doesn't necessarily mean that that gray line rides right in the middle of like good and bad. There is a line on like what is justifiable, what isn't justifiable, why is it or why isn't it? And science can answer like 90% of those questions. Someone said, "What if you, what if you have ADHD trying to stay organized?" Well, here's the thing. Just like any other mental issue, you have to.
He has ADHD.
Yeah, I recently found out that I was actually diagnosed as a child, and my parents never told me. Explained a lot, but I've managed my whole life without it. So it's a matter of learning how to manage what is wrong with you in a healthy way. So like if you have actual ADHD, like you're diagnosed, obviously you should be continuing therapy. If you can afford it, you should have a psychiatrist or a doctor.
Our daughter does.
Who's helping you manage it. There are outside. I use, to be honest with you, CBD helps me immensely. I use it every time before I do one of these Friday beans. And you'll notice if I don't have it or don't, because I will just sit and stare off and not say anything. That's just how I am. But it's just like every other disorder, and it's not just mental disorders, it could be physical disorders. If a guy had both of his legs removed, he's not going to be able to manage his day unless he gets up and takes care and has to put on his fake legs and put his pants on at, like everybody has something that they have to manage. And unfortunately, even if it's more severe, it's part of your daily routine. So make it part of your daily routine, manage it, do what you have to do, and move on. Figure out what works for you, because the thing is ADHD and ADD are wildly different from person to person. So staying organized might work for one person with ADD, might not work for another. So figure out what works for you. Work with a medical professional if you can afford it. I know psychiatric care is ridiculously expensive, but do what you can.
Yeah, and try different things too. Just because one thing didn't work for you, it doesn't mean other things don't. That's why I like the planner. I like the planner because it allows me to revert back to being a teenager and using stickers and pretty colored gel pens, and I feel good about it. It makes me excited to do it because I get to use all my pretty pens, and that's what brings me joy. For some of you, it's just like I just want to do what I need to do. But holding yourself accountable, which is our next point.
Yeah, but I did want to clarify. I have ADD, not ADHD.
Oh.
It's not technically politically correct to call it ADHD because I do not have a hyperactivity issue. I have an attention issue. I will space off and go into the universe and not hear a word you're saying to me. Anyway, continue.
Learn how to take accountability on your mistakes without being hard on yourself. Module 1 of Handmade Alpha Academy is all about building a healthy business mindset before you jump into business. One of the main things that we talk about in Module 1 is that we learn through our mistakes. Mistakes are what change neural pathways. If when you are, 2 years old, you put your hand on a hot stove, yeah, that hurt, but now you know that you're never going to do it again. That is your brain actually changing itself. Your brain is able to adapt to those changes very, very quickly, and it usually takes the sting of making a mistake. That's why mistakes hurt so bad. It's why, when you feel like you failed, you take it personally. It's your brain trying to say, don't do that again. Don't touch that stove again. Don't make that mistake again because that hurt you once, and I'm trying to protect you. That's your brain's job. Sometimes, though, it does those are like automatic processes that we don't have control over. And sometimes it does those, complete mental shutdowns at times when it doesn't need to, because there's no actual danger. You're not putting your hand on a hot stove. Maybe it's, I failed the last time I used Instagram and I uploaded, something silly, or I forgot, to put something, or I messed something up. And now I don't want to be on that anymore because I'm not good at it. No. You didn't mess anything up that bad. Your brain is trying to protect you from harm, but Instagram didn't harm you. You can learn. You just have to learn through making those mistakes. So learn by taking accountability for your mistakes. That means reflecting on the mistakes when you make them God knows I've made plenty. Sit and think about them, but don't be hard on yourself. Ask yourself, what knowledge and experience have I learned from this mistake that I did not have before I made the mistake? And how can I pivot now that I have identified what the issue?
We're back online.
Oh, let us know if we disappeared.
We're back.
But
No, we did disappear.
Did
I
we?
know for a fact. There's like a 30-second delay.
welcome back. I assume that we're here.
Okay, yeah, we're here.
Oops, did it again.
Our internet went completely out, like all the way out. So
Gone, back, gone, frozen, quick pause, then again. Oh no. Hi again. Okay. I think that we're good.
I'm telling them to refresh if they're not back. No,
Yep.
our internet completely went out for a second. I'm assuming it's weather related.
I love that. That's a good analogy. The stove burns, but you got to use it daily to cook food. Exactly. You have to learn how to use that stove. You don't just shut down. It's like our daughter. She opened the stove to put cookies in. She's never done that before, but I was trying to teach her how to start using the oven. She opened up the oven and the hot air blew in her face, and she's never experienced that before. So she lost her mind. She started like yelling, like, it's too hot, I can't do it. And we're like, hey,
Relax.
relax. That happens to everybody. Now you know that when you open it, you got to take a little step back and not put your face right in it. That you're going to be using this thing for the rest of your life. So you can't just say, I'm never using the stove again, right?
I need to look something up.
And we talked about accountability. This is just like a little extra. Don't administer self-punishments, though. That's something that I used to be really bad about when I was like working out, where I would say, oh, I didn't work out today, I'm going to skip dinner. That's a punishment. Don't give yourself self-punishments. Oh, I didn't get everything I needed to do done tonight. I was going to watch a movie, tonight, but I'm going to skip that and pile on a bunch of work right before bed. Unless it's things that you have to do, like get orders out to customers, don't do that. Don't punish yourself. Back online. Okay.
Just give me a second before you start moving on.
Okay. Everything's going wrong.
Okay, cool. So it's not.
Okay.
It's good. Whoa. Where'd you go there, bud?
Are we good?
Also,
Okay.
sorry that was gone.
All right. So
I forgot.
moving forward,
Yes,
We've-
because we're really
I know we've talked about, surrounding yourself with positive people. The alphas are a great way to do that. That's why we open the Discord, so you guys can chat more and connect more with each other. Surround yourself with people who are on the same path as you. Don't listen to those negative influences as much. They don't matter for your growth. They're not in your best interest. Don't be afraid to communicate with your family. I know that there's always going to be those partners that they don't want to hear about your problems, and it's, not healthy, but we understand that there are partners that are like that who just, they don't want to hear about it.
though I think we have different opinions on how that should be handled.
Well, yeah, but
Sorry.
hopefully you have a support system, even if it's not, a partner. Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a friend.
Maybe it's another alpha.
Right. Don't be afraid to communicate
Yeah.
your genuine needs. It's not, communicating needs is not the same as complaining.
No.
Just be tactful when you're expressing those needs. If it's, I am so loaded with work, I just need, my husband to fill the dishwasher because I am so loaded, and he gets home from work and kicks off his shoes and sits on the couch and watches sports until bed. Like, I just need the dishwasher loaded.
You are allowed to accept that that's not acceptable behavior.
You can, but do so in a way that is easy for that person to understand, because when you come at them with that stress energy, I am just so stressed, I just need this one little thing,
Yeah,
and if
you
you would
have
just
to-
do this thing.
You have to be able to communicate in a meaningful way that they'll be able to understand.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that some people aren't the best with emotions. I'm among the mindset that those people should be communicated with to understand that they need to, otherwise they need to be left on their own. But obviously not everybody's willing to do something like that. So just make sure that you understand how to communicate with your partner and that you can communicate with your partner, because you should be able to communicate with your partner. That's why they're your partner. So the like back in my day mindset that a lot of people have is, and I know somebody's going to hate me for this, it's toxic. It is negative, and it is not progressive. I understand. I'm not speaking politically progressive. It is not progressive as a human being.
Right.
It's not positive or necessary.
This is just the way I am is a cop-out.
That's a cop-out. It's ignorance. It's intentional ignorance.
It's a way to say, I'm happy how I am.
And screw everyone else.
And I am not willing to change to accommodate your needs.
It can also be laziness. Most of the time, from what I've known, it's actually just been laziness. It's people that don't. It's like if you had that grandparent way back when that refused how to learn to use the TV remote.
That's my...
Her great-grandma. It's not because they're incapable. It's because they're refusing to do so. It's at the end of the day, it's immaturity. That's what it is. Being an adult and being a progressive, reasonable human being is having a willingness to adapt and being mature enough to understand that you're not the only person on the planet. Being able to live with your mind outside of your own head for a couple of minutes and see yourself from someone else's perspective.
And some people, it's really hard for them to do that.
Yeah, narcissism. The narcissism plays a big part of it. And you'll see this a lot, I think, with people that are in the like teenage to maybe like 35-year-old realm right now that have been big in social media. It's not exclusive to them, but it's a new type of sociopathic behavior where we're self-absorbed. And that comes along with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Because you build your own little following and you assume that you're super duper important and that you can do and say whatever you want.
But that's not exclusive, because there is a type that applies to people that are outside of that as well. People that aren't willing to change, that think that because they grew up a certain kind of way or they lived in a certain kind of place that they have to be a certain kind of way. That's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It just has a different name. It's a form of immaturity. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So my last little tip is, since we're nearing the holidays, I've got 3 tips for a happy holiday that I want to get out of the way, and then we can answer some questions. But we've got 3 rules at our house because we've got a tiny house. Our house is about the size of a double-wide trailer. It's not a double-wide trailer, but it's
bigger than that.
We've upstairs.
Don't exaggerate.
Upstairs?
Yes, it's way bigger than that.
I think it is.
Our total house is like 2,000 some odd square feet. What the hell are you talking
basement.
about? Yeah, with the fully furnished basement. This woman.
I said the upstairs.
We're gonna fight as soon as this camera goes off.
Our bedroom is so tiny that
our bedroom is very small. Yes,
the bed is the bedroom. You don't have like any room.
The house itself is plenty big, but it's built with walls that are like this thick for some reason. So it's just anyway.
You grew up in a double wide trailer, though. Like
whatever. You grew up in a historical house that you couldn't afford. Leave me alone.
It was I grew up in a big house with room to roam. He grew up with giant people in a tiny house, so he needs less space than me. I need more room. But what I'm
just
saying,
because you're 5'2" doesn't mean that everybody else's problem.
What I'm saying is that our house is small, and during the holidays, if bickering breaks out, it is the most annoying thing in the world because our house is small and we're all crammed together. So we have 3 holiday rules if you want to come hang out at the Moore's house for Christmas, which everybody does because he cooks and everybody knows that he's a good cook.
Oh my God.
So no politics at all. None. No political discussions whatsoever.
I cut that crap off.
We don't care what side you're on. You're not allowed to bring up any news, any politics for any reason whatsoever. No matter if you think that it's positive, justified, whatever. No politics from the moment that they walk in the door. That's rule number 1. And I highly recommend that if you have holidays at your house and you're having people come over, that should be your first rule. Or if you're going to somebody else's house for the holidays, say, I don't talk about politics during the holidays. Second, no gossip and complaining. During the holidays, it's always about, oh, you know, that aunt or, oh, that sister who isn't here, you know, who knows what she's off to. Like, everybody will gang up in one little area and it's almost like they feel joy from talking about somebody or something or some type of gossip, and that's how you connect. Cut that out. Not over the holidays. You
Not
can
worth it.
No. So no gossip, no complaining. And I'm throwing in this last little bit, not necessarily related to families and holidays, but just as that holiday stress starts to come down on our shoulders, especially if you run a busy business and you also have to get through the holiday season with family, you can only do what you can do. This is like the same thing as the controlling your controllables. There is a limit to what you can do. And if you're trying to do more than what is possible for you to do, then you're going to feel bad. And being able to identify that I am human, I can only do this many things. This is what I am capable of doing. Nobody expects me to do more than this. You can even bring that up to a spouse. I can only do what I can do. These are the things that I have to do. These 3 things over here, filling the dishwasher and doing these things, I cannot do these because my time is all eaten up by these 3 things. It would help me and help us to feel a lot less stressed over the next few days if you could take these 3 things off of my plate for me. That way I can finish earlier and we can spend more time together. So I hope that this was helpful.
Yeah, me too.
It was a lot more
intense.
intense. Yeah. Here's the thing. When we started this live stream, he and I have both voiced that we're anxious, and it's because we're about to leave on a long drive with the dog. And the idea of going on our anniversary vacation and hiding out in the woods for the weekend sounds great, super relaxing, but it's all the things that come with that, packing the car, making sure that we have everything, for the animals, just all of those things. The stress of that caused me to be anxious this morning preparing. So I got on here, and you guys can tell when I start a stream and I started anxious, it reflects in my voice, how I talk, how I pause. I will stop talking for extended amount of times and let him kind of take over. Or I will do what I'm doing right now and I will just burst. Which
Y'all glamping? No, we are staying in a cabin in Shawnee State Forest somewhere, though.
So
it's very pretty.
Like I said, I know that this was less actionable. It's not a lot of step 1, pack your orders. Step 2, make sure that you have, this. It's more of an abstract topic. But I think that for those of you who struggle with some of the same issues that Mark and I do, stress and anxiety is my big one. Anxiety and not so much depression anymore. You've been doing a lot better.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot better with that. I think a lot of that came down to I had severe insomnia. I still struggle with it. With it from about once or twice a month. But I think that was a direct result of me literally staying up for 24 hours once or twice a week. Yeah, I would not sleep about 3 days out of the week for years. I think TLDR with this, if you guys want to go ahead and get questions in while we're kind of finishing up here, we can. We're going to hard cut at 1:30 because I want to get out of here. Stay positive no matter what, no matter how hard it gets. Being in a bad mood and not trying to make something positive out of it is a waste of your time. You have a limited amount of time on Earth, regardless of your religious beliefs or whatever. You have a very limited amount of time, and you should try your best to spend that time happy, or at the very least doing something that will result in happiness eventually. Be constructive with your time. Don't complain unless you're going to try to offer a solution to that complaint. I'm not talking about venting. Everybody can vent. That's fine. We actually have a venting section in our Discord. If you join that, we have one specifically in there for you to vent in. And have a support structure. Be willing to remove people that aren't a positive influence on your life. Family, unfortunately, is one that we hear a lot of. And I know, especially for some of you people that are in the not safe for work industry, you guys have it especially rough because
you can't talk to grandpa about what you sell.
Obviously. Work on it, though. Always move forward, and don't listen to people who don't offer you a solution or some kind of positivity. Friend, family, spouse, move on and do something positive. Anyway.
Somebody had asked what's going to happen to Bubbers while we're away. The cats,
They're fine. I have a camera that we use. We use Google security cameras, Nest cams. One out front. I have one in the kitchen. I talk to the cats like once a day.
they've got a litter robot that does their litter.
Yep, litter gets done automatically. We leave a nice big plot of food.
Yep.
Extra bowls of water, multiple throughout the house in case one of them decides to be an asshat and step in a bowl and spill it everywhere.
Yeah.
Because cats, if you have a cat, you understand.
We also leave the toilet open.
Hi,
just
they
in
left.
case.
They left for a day. I'm gonna take a bath in the water bowl today. Like stuff they would literally never do if you were home. It is how it is. But we have ways. I missed.
Oh, sorry. There was a question.
Yeah, I don't care. I missed what is Discord. Discord is like think of like 90s chats, but
Chat rooms.
chat rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Kinda
chat
like that.
Chat in real time with people.
I have it split into sections: normal, not safe for work, and not safe for work Etsy sections. So everybody is welcome there. We have a suggestions tab that you can type into. Just read the rules when you get in there, and it'll explain exactly what you have to do.
Link down below.
If you don't know how to use Discord, there are, I'm sure, literally thousands of videos on YouTube of how to use Discord. Where was it? Yeah. I have a question. I've seen shop offering, for example, 10% off for 2 products, 20% off for 3 products on top of an existing percent off. How do they achieve that?
That's not possible on Etsy unless they're doing a double dip sale using the Etsy on sale app. If you go to my channel or if you just go into the Etsy search bar and type in 𝔸𝕚𝕚𝕚 double dip, you should be able to find it. But that's the only way to do that. You have to use the Etsy on sale app to achieve that. You cannot stack 2 sales on top of each other on Etsy. It's not possible.
I said, Shawnee, you're coming to my neck of the woods a few hours south. It's a few hours south for us, too, so you're probably up near us. However, it's Shawnee State Forest, not Shawnee National Forest, which is like a state west of us. It's Shawnee State Forest in southern Ohio.
Did you guys know? I wish I could find the photo. I wanted to post it on Indigenous Peoples Day. Did you guys know that my family on my mother's side is Shawnee? And I've got some pictures of them. But isn't that funny? Because I am so pasty.
I always laugh at that because you're like the stereotypical person that says they have Indian
Right.
or Native American
Yeah.
in them, and you are like the palest person I've ever met.
I know.
I
know.
love She does, though. I've seen the pictures.
On my mother's side, we had my family came over from Germany, and we've lived in Ohio ever since then for some reason.
I hope this is not too negative a question. You don't have to worry about that here. We don't care. I want to opt out of Plaid. Is it possible?
Nope, it's not. You're gonna get your shop shut down if you don't connect it. I just connected mine. You don't have a choice. If you want to sell on Etsy, you have to connect to Plaid. I know that sucks. It only takes a few seconds to do. I anticipated a lot of problems based on what everybody else told me. They said that they were having problems. I did it on desktop. I don't recommend doing it on phone. I did it on desktop, though. I followed the directions that they laid out for me. I recorded it anticipating problems because I was going to make a video. Had no issues. Took, like 5 minutes to do? So I would ask, why does nobody want to do it? Like, what's the reason that a lot of people have said that they want to opt out of it, but I don't know why. So feel free to let me know if there's something that I missed.
Insomnia for 3 years now. How did you get over that? I'm so all over it. It's exhausting and creates health issues. It does create a lot of health issues like chronic depression, which I suffered for like 8 years with chronic depression because of my insomnia. So I did not seek a medical professional like I absolutely 100% should have because I didn't like the idea of a sleep study. To be honest with you, it was a form, realistically, meditation when trying to sleep helped. If you've studied like legitimate meditation, like Buddhist meditation and how achieving an empty mind works, that's kind of how I did it, along with, I don't know what the technique is called, but it's a technique that I used where I would clear my mind first, and then you try to feel body parts, like as you're sitting still, like you try to hyper concentrate on the nerves and a body part and move that feeling around your body. Like start at your toes on one foot, work your way up a leg, down to the other side, up through your arms, and you just keep on a rotation, because when you're hyper focusing like that, your brain can't think about anything else. So if somebody knows the name of that technique, you can post it below. But that honestly is what worked on it for me, and doing things like what people tell you to do.
Blue light blockers.
Blue light blocking. If you're sensitive to blue light, you'll have no idea until you do it. Real blue light blocking stuff is extremely expensive, though. Like, I think my glasses were something like $250. There's a lot of companies that claim to do it, but the majority of them don't actually work. I don't know if it actually worked. It worked for me for a long time, and then I got over it. Not drinking caffeine past, like, and I know this sounds crazy, like 2 p.m. I don't drink pop, coffee.
We drink
water,
seltzer water.
Seltzer water, yeah. I mean, caffeine, it sounds ridiculous, but most people are caffeine sensitive in one way or another. And if you're drinking 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee, like I know you are. I know you are. Some of you are drinking a ridiculous amount of caffeine every day, and that's terrible for you. I have a cup of coffee in the morning, and if I really need it, I have a supplement that I use that I boost myself halfway through the day, but nothing after like 2 p.m. But honestly, that's it.
Noel, we've also no light in the bedroom at all.
No light in the bedroom. Yeah. No TVs. Completely close off the windows. Turn all the lights in the house off.
We do storm sounds at night. You would not believe how deeply. Well, I don't need white noise. I've never been one to need a fan or anything. And I thought, the storm sounds will just be nice, because the dog likes to lick herself in the bedroom, and it's really gross, and that keeps us awake. So we started doing the storm sounds. I sleep so much more deeply. I really do think that
I have a hard time getting up.
Yeah.
we wake up in the morning, and I just lay there in bed like I don't care that I have. Kid can stay home today. We're going back to sleep. She can take a day off.
Yeah.
No, not really, but yeah, that's really it. Work on the factors that you have control of. If nothing works, combining all the factors, like building a new sleep routine, try to go to bed at a reasonable time. Have a set time that you do go to bed and a set time that you wake up. Try to be awake for 16 hours a day. If you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, stay up for 16 hours. At that 16-hour mark, or maybe 15-hour mark, get into bed and relax. If it really struggles for you, no phone, no TV, nothing with blue light. Turn the lights off and light a candle, read a book. There are lights on Amazon that you can get that are no blue light, like book lights. We've got a couple of them. They're like $12. I think some good ones are $20. Just do what you can.
Right. Oh, they found.
Get away. You're
found
skipping things.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You don't know what you're doing. Brown noise is amazing for ADHD. She gets mad at me when I do that. What's the Facebook group name? Sorry for all the questions. All applicable links will be in the description below the video.
The Facebook or the Discord?
The Facebook is the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. The Discord is linked down below. You can't search for a Discord server. So
yeah. All right.
I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, and I am pale.
Yes.
Yeah, it is how it is. 2 years married, October 24th, 1 year sober from drinking tomorrow myself. Congrats.
Oh, awesome.
Quitting drinking can be hard. I've done it a few times. I'm Italian, but my skin is transparent, as am I. You're not pasty, Starla. She is pasty.
Oh, what you're seeing right now is color enhanced and a lot of makeup.
Mm-hmm. I have a loot on here that makes us look more tan than we are. Can
you see?
Yeah, even that looks skin.
There's a little bit of sepia on the
yeah, but this is just white. There is no skin tone to this.
If you put me in a dark room, I will glow like a lightning bug.
What's Plaid? I missed that. We need to connect what? Plaid has a history of shady businesses practices, but if it's a requirement, since it's a requirement, I just
Plaid, you'll get an email, or it'll be right on the top of your Etsy dashboard. Etsy is making everybody change their payment systems over to Plaid, but they're doing it in batches, so you will likely get a notification for it or an email, or when you log into Etsy, it'll be right at the top. And they give you plenty of time to do it, but mine got down to like, you have 9 days left before your account gets deactivated. So I was like, oh crap, I better do that. But you'll know when you have to do it because you'll get notified.
Cats licking their bort hole sounds. We keep our cats locked out of the bedroom, but the dog licks herself at like 3:00 in the morning, and I have to throw a pillow at her to get her to quit. You guys have that? Your dog will like, oh, you know what? It's time to clean myself for 45 straight minutes.
Time to chew on my butt. The whole time, like, stop it.
Fortunately, usually telling her to stop, she stops. I had a problem entering my bank account number, had to put a 0 in front of it. That would be your country code.
Yeah.
US country code is 0.
Yeah.
Got it. Facebook comments in Facebook group state Plaid settled a lawsuit due to mishandling financial information of users. Others just hate giving bank info, which I get. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I get that. What company doesn't have a shady history anymore? Let's see. Sleep study. ASMR is a great way for mild insomnia. ASMR is a great way for me to hit somebody. I hate it.
Depending on what type it is.
Makes me angry.
Yeah, he can't do... I guess it depends on what type of ASMR.
It gives me anxiety. It doesn't remove it. It gives it to me. It always has. Isolate each body part from your toes up. It's about awareness. That helped me a ton to focus on my meditation. It really does. It really does. The main thing with meditation is to, when you have thoughts pop into your head, not to like focus on pushing those thoughts out, but focus on why you're having those thoughts and control that part. And then you can get it to go silent. Trying to force it out makes the problem worse.
See Mike's comment?
No.
Down.
Where?
Down.
I hadn't got there yet.
Oh, okay.
You once talked about vitamin D. I talked with my doctor and found out you were correct and now have corrected that. Really helped. Yeah. I mean, you never know. Stop telling my secrets.
He had to be on vitamin D supplements when he was in the military because he worked.
No sunlight.
Yeah, he worked in a building with no windows because it was a top secret military building, but it was nighttime when he got to work and it was nighttime when he got out of work.
I love that technique. I call it body scanning, but I don't know what it really is. I've heard the term one time and I have not been able to find the term. I haven't searched in a couple years, though. Maybe I'll look. A lot of people saying they get called out for their caffeine addiction. I'd say the majority of adults are straight addicted to caffeine.
I am.
I don't. It's bad for you. You don't need that much. You need that much because you're addicted.
Yep. We're guilty though. We're not saying that we are.
No, I am no longer addicted to caffeine. I could stop it if I wanted to.
I couldn't.
I have 1 cup of coffee a day.
I'm pretty bad.
I'm going to avoid being called a racist for trying to pronounce that.
Fire Queen, if we appreciate you putting the name of it in there. But Mr. Moore is not confident in his ability to pronounce it.
Yes. Please note that caffeine tea mugs are supposed to be 11 ounces or less once a day. In the U.S., we have huge mugs. We're used to using it. It really messes with our caffeine levels, and it's unhealthy.
Yes.
We don't use big cups here.
Oh, that's water.
Yeah, it's a liter of water. We have a liter of cola.
A liter of cola. Oh, goodness.
I love the loser in here posting Tinder things. How much of a loser do you have to be?
Best adult dating site.
Sleeping deeply sound nice. We live in an apartment that has fire alarms going off at least once a week, though. That sucks. I use dim yellow bulbs or light before bed. I also turn on all the fans for noise to make the bedroom cool and humidifier. I try to do that. I literally have to sleep without a blanket because she likes the house so damn hot that I can't sleep.
It's too cold.
Because she's small. Are you guys on TikTok?
Yes, Alpha Starla. I do not post there very much, though, because between making Friday Beans, a video every Tuesday, a live stream every Thursday in the E-Rank group, making tiny little TikTok videos, I'm not as good at it, but I am there. And occasionally I do post content.
Sounds like your anniversary is 4 days before ours. Well, congrats on yours as well. October is the best. Yes, October is the best. I have like 6 drone batteries charged over here because I am going to be flying and getting all kinds of pretty shots of the forest.
I always find it weird when people say, congratulations on your anniversary. Because
you made it.
You made it. You made it. I asked him last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, 12 years. You ready to call it quits yet? Like, well, maybe just one more. We'll do it one more time.
One more time.
We'll do it
one more year.
One more year. Then I don't know. Yes, Plaid is where you have to verify your bank information. I don't get ASMR stuff. Yeah, I can't. It makes me
cringe.
Man, our daughter loves it though. She likes the ones where it's people like crunching like things in their hands. And I'm just like, oh, she wants to turn it on to sleep too. Like,
Yeah, large is way beyond what's sold here. It's crazy large. Dude, Wendy's is the worst right now. Wendy's and Burger King is just as bad. But like a medium at Wendy's is like what used to be an extra large at McDonald's. It's
they
ridiculous.
give you like a gallon.
Can I get a medium cola? Sure. You want 32 ounces of sugar syrup?
Ugh,
Ugh.
God, it's so much.
I don't even really drink pop anymore. Vitamin D is a miracle drug. Yeah. I'm picky about my SMR. I get sad.
I get sad.
5,000 units of vitamin D every day. I'm so deficient. Vitamin deficiency is actually a huge problem, especially for women in the United States. Iron deficiency is a huge, or what? I don't know if it still is, but like 5-6 years ago, iron deficiency was a huge problem in women in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. I was iron deficient.
People trying to eat low-fat diets, avoiding beef.
I was iron deficient, but I had too much potassium somehow, which is crazy because I didn't. The first thing they asked me was, they were like, "Oh, do you eat a lot of bananas?" I'm like, "No." Like, your potassium is through the roof. But apparently too much potassium, it causes ligament issues. And I kept falling. My ankles kept buckling out from under me, and I would fall, and I had to wear a brace.
Don't talk about ankle buckling.
I know.
Please. I have like actual PTSD from rolling my ankles.
I
have night terrors because of it. It's bad. It's a weird thing to be sensitive about ankle rolling. It's better cold when sleeping, when awake and trying to work. That's a different story. No, I like just keep me cold. I sleep naked and don't use a blanket. I am weird. I want the boogeyman to tickle my feet. It is what it is.
He has no. Do you guys have that day like that? You know, you're not under your blanket, or
I don't have that at all.
For naked sleepers, it's scary when you don't have a blanket because like it's stranger danger. What if something comes and touches you in your sleep? Touches your butt.
Yeah, I actually did that while /𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 was here. I rolled my ankle, and then like 4 days later rolled my ankle again, and now I have actual night terrors. If I see someone roll their ankle, I will have a hard time sleeping later that night. It's really weird because it wasn't all that traumatic. It was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. But apparently my brain felt it traumatic enough to remind me that I don't like people rolling their ankles.
All you posting about it being 60 degrees.
68 degrees.
68, no.
I keep the house at 74, and it's too cold for her.
It's fine at 74.
No, it's not. That's what the house is at right now, and you shiver in your sleep.
Well, the bedroom's cold. The bedroom gets colder because it's off in the corner. But
I also have a heater in the bedroom that keeps it at 73.
It's too cold.
This woman, I swear to God.
It's too cold. It's way too cold.
I like some diabetes with that burger. Me
Burger.
too. Speaking of burgers, I am starving.
I'm so hungry. All right.
Speaking of sugar before bed is also counterconductive to sleep. Yeah, sugar is also one of the most addictive chemicals on the planet. 74 is toasty. I agree. I would be at like 72 if it were me. No anniversary here. We've lost count of how long we've been together. Just eat a handful of spinach if you feel less iron. For some people that's not enough, and they have to eat so much that they actually have a fiber issue.
Yeah.
Quick question. What is your thought on Etsy's recommended sale that lasts for 4 weeks, starting soon?
Do it. If you here's the thing. They do this holiday sale every year. And you get put in their page for, their sales page. Do it if you're planning on hosting a sale anyway. Hopefully your pricing is aligned so that you can do it without it hurting. If the sale is hurting you and hurting your profits, you're probably pricing too low. And then obviously don't do it or raise your prices. A permanent raise. Don't just raise it for the sake of the sale. But raise your prices to accommodate that sale. If you're planning on doing your own type of sale, maybe you only want to do one for the cyber weekend and you want to make it a big blowout. That's fine too. If you've got a decent social media following, that's probably better anyway. But there's nothing wrong with it if you want to participate in it. I get that question every year. Etsy always does that big sale every year, and it's totally up to you.
Currently in physical therapy for ankle rolling. PTSD is legit. My whole body cringes at the thought of falling. Yeah, I had for literally up until like 2 months ago, I would wake up with night terrors, and I would think about it, and it would make my entire body roil in pain, and it would give me like an actual panic attack. It was weird, super crazy. You're hitting me with your chair, homie.
Sorry. I don't think they've ever seen our other cat.
Oh, they haven't.
Did you guys know we have 2 cats?
She just don't like being held. She's going to be uncomfortable the whole time and upset. She also has like a glue spot on her back from our daughter.
This is Toots Boots.
I can't see her yet.
She hides. She's a lot fatter than Bubbers is. Can you see her belly? She's purring, kinda. She doesn't seem super unhappy.
Literally everyone is saying 74 is too hot. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. We live in a brick house, so a lot of that heat does get radiated. It doesn't truly sit at 74. That's just what we keep the house at, but separate electric blankets. That's too hot for me. I'll just sleep totally uncovered and let the boogeyman tickle me. I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. How is everybody married? What's your secret? Read Cosmo.
Read Cosmo. Well, we got married when we were 18, which...
And 19. I was 19.
That's true. Which probably, for the majority isn't what you should do. We tend to recommend youngsters not do what we did. We were a very rare case. So, yay for everybody who got married when they were teenagers and was able to stay together.
I'm also one of those people that is a near firm believer that you shouldn't be with the first person that you've slept with.
Yeah,
if you're both the first person. It's different if one wasn't.
Yeah, because you don't know if you're,
compatible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't get into that because that'll upset somebody. It's fine if you are, but most of the time it doesn't work. Is this really live? No. We recorded this last week. Calicos are so sweet. You haven't met this one.
Calicos, yes, she is a blue calico, which is why she's kind of more of a caramel color and a very blue-gray.
Can we get a quick how-to video on Discord? No.
Not today.
Not today, but...
Because we're about to leave for vacation. Or not vacation, but anniversary trip.
Yeah. Plus, it starts to create issues when we screen share for some reason. We still haven't figured that out.
But there are so many videos on YouTube. You could probably find like a 2-minute
Yeah, there's tons.
Oh my goodness, she is so affectionate today. She never sits like this.
I think the glue spot on her back has her itchy, and she's wanting us to do something about it. We're gonna have to shave a spot of her back off because our daughter likes to play with slime, and I think she rolled in it, and she just has one big clump of hair on her back that just won't go away. It's been there for 2 months. I got married young and would agree.
Most people in happy marriages that got married young usually, they feel the same. Mm-hmm. She knows you're about to leave. They probably do.
Yeah, they probably do.
The dog's coming with us.
But it's at 1:30. We'll go ahead and cut it. I appreciate you guys hanging out and keeping it friendly. If you want to join the Discord, it is linked down below. Baby oil will help get it out. Yeah, good luck trying to get this cat to sit still long enough.
And guys, I'm going to be doing a webinar. I would really appreciate if some of you came and hung out because I'm a little bit nervous. Anytime I'm in front of an audience that isn't mine, I get nervous, and there's always a couple butt heads. But I'm doing it for Printify. They've been so cool. I did a video for them on Tuesday on my YouTube channel. Are you done? On how to do Etsy SEO for print on demand. So you guys can check that out on my channel. It was really, really fun. I didn't get paid to do it or anything. I'm not an affiliate of theirs. But I do like the idea of us kind of, working together so I can help their users understand Etsy SEO.
Where's the live going to be?
It is going to be on their YouTube channel. There's a link down below, though, where you can, go to the player page and click to notify you when I start streaming. That will be on the 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern. You do have to have the YouTube app to get the notification, but I'll be sending out emails. If you've signed up for any of my freebies that are linked down below, like the Black Friday Toolbox, the 30-day Instagram challenge, any of those, you should get the email for that. I would recommend doing if you're not on my email list, sign up for the Black Friday Toolbox, because that one will ensure because there's no welcome series with that, right? They just get moved immediately.
For what?
Black Friday Toolbox.
I believe so, yeah.
Sign up for the Black Friday Toolbox. You get free stuff to help you for Black Friday anyway. But that will ensure that you end up on our mailing list and you're not stuck in one of our welcome series. And then we can make sure that you get the email letting you know when we've started, or just mark your calendar. So I'm so excited for that. I know that.
Yeah, we could make an event in Discord for it too.
Yeah,
we can always make, because you can link them there, and then when it starts, they can just click it and it'll take them right to it.
Yeah,
We'll start putting events in Discord as well.
I want to show Printify that like we've got really cool people. I would love to be able to work with them more. And I would like them to see like that we're a really cool bunch, because there are a lot of coaches out there that are, not great. There's a lot of Etsy YouTubers out there that are not great, and I want to show them like, hey, we're good to work with.
There are other ones that are good as well.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to think that we're calling them out directly.
No.
If you're one of the crappy ones, you know who you are, so that's fine.
Yeah, and
bite me.
And I also, like I said, I never. It's been a long time since I've presented in front of an audience that isn't mine. So even if you guys have heard this webinar before, I love having you guys here, asking good questions. And I'll probably have you guys like put some wolf emojis in the chat so they can see like, hey, this is my people.
Anyway, we'll make every attempt to make sure you guys know where it's at.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. And we'll see you